We are back. We are back.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
It's been a while.
It's been a long
It wasn't
time.
supposed to be.
It wasn't supposed to be.
Wasn't supposed
You
to.
know, unfortunately, things didn't play in our favor to allow us to record as consistently as we wanted to.
Right.
But it don't matter. We're here.
We here.
That's
We're
all
here.
that matters.
We're back.
That's the most important thing.
Absolutely.
It absolutely is. Thank you, and welcome to the Commissioner's Report, a CGI Madden League podcast. This is episode 2. And, if this is your first time listening, we thank you for joining us. If this is your second time listening, then we welcome you back. We are the 3 commissioners of the CGI Madden League on PlayStation 4, a Sim Madden League. We've been going for 5 years. Well, this is our 5th year of Madden and of our CGI League running. And if you joined us for our first episode, we did like a recap. This was before our first season started. We kind of did a recap of what our league was about, and then we went through each of the divisions and talked about each of the divisions, broke down all the players who drafted their teams, and kind of gave predictions as to what we thought the league was going to play out like. Woo!
A lot of surprises.
A lot of surprises.
A lot of surprises.
Boy, oh boy.
A lot of surprises.
A lot of surprises. So we'll get to that a little bit later. We'll recap the 2019 season, our first season of CGI Madden 20. But first, let's jump into, I guess since we're almost 3 months into Madden 20 being out at this point,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, Madden 20 came out early August. Here we are, first week in November.
Yep.
Let's talk about the state of Madden 20. So, and this is with every Madden. Every year,
Right.
Madden comes out, and the game that it is in August is usually a different game come October.
For sure.
Totally different game.
For sure.
Yeah, and we're at that point where here we are, again, late October, early November, and the game is not what it was when it first came out.
Definitely not.
Not at all.
Definitely not.
I guess first let's start with the abilities.
Okay.
Okay.
What's your thoughts on the abilities? So, and just for reference, the abilities we're talking about superstar abilities and X Factor abilities, of course. Certain players have, receivers have abilities where they can make aggressive catches one-on-one
Right.
at ease.
Mhm.
Defensive players have hit stick capabilities and things like that
Stuff
make
like
them
that. Right.
make
For
them
sure.
insta fumble anybody they touch. What's your thoughts on how abilities have affected the game? Here we are 3 months into Madden 20.
I know for superstar ability, the one person that you would want to have on your team beyond a shadow of a doubt is Jamal Adams.
Mhm.
He is a definite game changer. Aaron Donald,
Mhm.
Khalil Mack,
Mm-hmm.
Earl Thomas is solid too. Bobby Wagner
Ooh, I
is
haven't
the
played
middle
him yet.
linebacker that you want to have
He's an
as
animal.
far as superstar X Factor abilities. But from the best superstar X Factor ability to me, beyond a shadow of a doubt, is Jamal Adams. If he hits you, the second time he hits you, it's a guaranteed
It's a
fumble.
fumble.
He's going to make you fumble if he hits you. I have no problem saying that whenever I run and I see Jamal Adams come, I'm trying to dive or I'm trying to kneel
There you go.
because he's going to make you lose the ball. So I like it. Offense, it bothers me sometimes because the X factors kick in sometimes, but not all the time.
Right.
For instance, I have Zeke in another league.
Okay.
He's the X factor. He doesn't break any tackles.
That's not good.
That's not
Not at
good at all. Like, you understand? But James Conner will break a tackle. And it's like, you know what I'm saying? So I think it's not the same on offense as it is defense. If you have an X factor on defense,
You have an
you're
advantage.
good to go.
You have an
You're
advantage
good to go.
for
On
sure.
offense, it's hit or miss the way those X factors perform. That's just my opinion. I can just
Okay.
speak from my
See,
opinion.
for me, having Nick Chubb on offense, he's pretty much unstoppable.
I seen
He
that.
has the ability to, the super trucking animations and the super stiff arm animations. I think last season, he had maybe like 60 something or 60 plus broken tackles.
You led the league in broken tackles,
Wow.
right?
And it's crazy. I wish I was doing it this year, but that's fine. But
Nick Chubb,
it's-
eh?
yeah, that's why. Look, that's why I got him.
On my
You know,
radar.
I sent Christian McCaffrey elsewhere. I don't know how he's doing. I don't.
Well,
I don't know.
looking at these standings, he's struggling just a bit. But we'll get into
Yeah,
that
I
later.
don't keep up with the AFC too much, but yeah, I mean, to piggyback off what you said, if you have a dominant pass rusher, I've been saying this for a while, you're pretty much good to go because they're beating any offensive tackle,
Any.
offensive
Any.
guard, any lineman at all.
I forgot to mention Fletcher Cox.
Yeah.
Fletcher
Yeah, I
Cox,
saw his
he's
name.
tough.
up there
that
on the list,
Bama.
yeah.
I mean, I've seen him get double teamed.
Yeah.
And he pushes the
Just
double
walks
team,
right
like
through
just
it.
moves right through
Yeah.
him. Like you're like, yo, what is this? So defense X factors, it's a blessing, but the offense
Yeah.
is hit or miss.
Offense, yeah, that's as far as Nick Chubb, that's only really, thing I've seen on offense that's really been standing out
Yeah.
as far as for me on my end.
How is DeAndre Hopkins working for you?
I mean, definitely once you get that X factor going and get that red X glowing under him, it definitely is a problem stopping him for sure.
Yeah,
But because of that, people make their adjustment.
Right.
For sure.
For the most
Right,
part,
right.
For sure.
when you're playing against a good user, people make their adjustment. They see
sure.
that red X underneath of his feet, they're going to start double teaming him because they know if it's a 1-on-1,
Yeah, it's a wrap.
It's
Yeah,
automatic.
right.
But
Yeah.
see, I like that you said that adjustments. See, on defense, you can't make adjustments for the X factors.
That's true.
On offense, you can.
That is
So
very
I
true.
feel like Madden can somewhat try to fix that, but I mean, then again, what can you do? But on defense, you can't adjust to that.
That's true.
At
Yeah.
all.
I agree.
I mean, the most you can do is when you see a safety like Jamal Adams or
Mhm.
Derwin James
Run
is
from him.
try to run away from
Yeah.
him.
Yes.
And
And he'll still
That's-
catch you.
and he'll still catch you.
Yeah, pretty-
He'll
yeah,
still
pretty
catch- he'll
much.
still catch
So
you.
good luck and God bless.
Absolutely.
That's the best thing is just
Harrison
avoid.
Smith too.
Just
Harrison
to try to
Smith
avoid
too.
them.
Yeah. I mean, I think overall, I'm fine with abilities.
Mhm.
I think they need to find a way to where it's more like 2K,
Gotcha.
NBA
Yeah,
2K.
yeah. Got
Okay.
you, got
They
you.
need
Okay.
to find a way where it's more like NBA 2K,
Mhm.
where everybody has abilities
Right.
in a way,
Okay.
but only certain players' abilities should be able to have a high impact.
I agree.
Yeah, just to let anybody step on the field and
And having
having
right, right.
ability is too much. At least having high impact ability.
See, in 2K, they have tiers because they have the badges and it's gold and
Right.
silver and bronze and things like that
Yeah.
to differentiate,
Madden should
elite.
definitely adopt that.
That's what
They
I'm
should.
saying. Instead of
should
just giving it, okay, boom, this is an X factor for everybody or the
Yeah.
ability for everybody who can
Right.
do this.
Yeah.
That's not how it
There
should
should
work.
be a high level guy when it
Right.
comes to hit sticking. There
Right,
should be a
right.
lower level guy when it comes to
Exactly.
hit sticking. Yeah,
For sure.
Not
that
everyone's
kind
out
of
there making people fumble every
For
hit
sure.
stick. Yeah.
Right.
Jamal Adams having a high level hit stick, totally fine. Jeff Heath having a great hit stick is complete fucking bullshit.
Jeff
And I'll say
Heath.
that.
He
I'm
sounds familiar. Do
yeah,
I know him?
We ain't gonna get into it, but I'm just saying, like that's bullshit.
Someone,
Oh.
yeah, Jeff Heath,
him.
yeah. Someone in
seen
our
him.
league refers to him as the GOAT,
As the
but
GOAT.
we
Yeah,
won't.
well,
we
that
won't
person
go
that
there.
refers to him as the GOAT in our league is sniffing coke. when
Yeah, I
he
was about to
talks
say,
about
he's doing really good
it.
drugs.
He's not the GOAT.
What about one of the things that I've come across as being an issue is penalties.
Yes.
The face mask penalty
that
has
joint
to
is
stop.
running
in
rampant.
particular.
That
It
joint
has
is
to stop.
Yeah.
and
It has to. That shit's
it's
bullshit.
been a lot of PI calls that's bailed people out,
Yes.
including myself.
For
Yes.
sure.
And it's
For
like
sure.
it's very frustrating. I've done holding triangle. The ball's not in the air anymore, and I'm getting a holding call or pass
sure.
interference. It doesn't
sure.
make sense to me. It's like it changes the game a lot of times. It flipped the field for me.
Mhm.
I just chucked it up, and the dude was a pass interference, and boom, I'm in the red zone,
Yeah.
and I'm scoring.
It's gotten to the point where people, like right before halftime, say somebody scores on you
Mm-hmm.
and you get the ball back with like 3-4 seconds left.
Right.
People just throw a Hail
Just-
Mary at the end of halftime just
pray
to
for-
see if
and
they
pray
get
for-
get a
yeah.
pass interference.
Yeah.
I'm not going to point anybody out in particular, BK, but
Since you want to point him out, I will point him out because I played him in our sister league, Gridiron, which is a great league. I can mention that league on this
Absolutely,
podcast.
absolutely.
Okay, I just want to make sure it's a great league. The commissioners are extremely dope. Me and BK played the Ravens. He has the Browns, and Brandon Carr had got a pick in the end zone and almost ran it back, and they called it back. And he got the ball on the one. Now BK decided to try to do a stretch play on the one.
On the one. Yeah,
and
that's what's up.
He got knocked back, but he didn't
That's
score.
what's up.
But he won in the playoffs, so I
Yeah.
guess he got me back. But that call was bullshit.
Yeah, the penalties. I don't know, man. EA's got to do something. It's
It's mirroring real life.
as far
Trash,
as bad
for sure.
calls
Penalties,
and
for
bad
sure.
refereeing. Oh yeah, it's
For
mirroring
sure.
real life, but
yeah,
this
it's
is
kinda
too much.
Like these dudes that put on aggressive strip and all that stuff, just stop it.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
stop.
Yeah.
Just stop. You're gonna get a face mask every time.
And see, that's
sure.
the thing is in Madden 19, if you had on the aggressive strip ball tendency, that would lead to more face mask penalties, which makes sense.
Right.
People aren't really doing that much anymore, and they're still getting face mask penalties.
Yes, and some of the face mask calls you don't even like. It's like
you don't even see animation.
You don't even see the animation.
Yeah. Right. There was no animation. He tackled him. He wrapped him up in face mask.
Yeah.
Like what?
It's something they'll definitely have to clean up. Now, one of the things I know has changed a lot over the last, again, couple months that Madden's been out is run defense and the ability to lurk on defense. Now, when the game first came out, it felt like everybody was like, oh, yeah, you can't really lurk like that. You can't just run around all over the place and, use give me the linebacker. But don't you feel like that's kind of gotten back to the way it was in Madden 19 now?
I think so. A couple instances where my linebacker was right in front of the pass, but he just didn't jump. I'm pressing triangle.
There are a couple of those.
Things like that. But for the most part, it feels like last Madden to me. There's a lot of lurk situations, a lot of linebackers that's still running with tight ends and receivers and all type of crazy stuff. But I think it's close to what it was last season. Yeah. I think. Or last Madden.
I don't think that's something they'll actually really try to fix, to be totally honest with you.
Yeah, I don't see it either. I don't see it either. I think it's going to kind of stay the way it is. It's just unfortunate that it didn't start that way and it eventually kind of weaned itself way back.
And it just happened just overnight for me. One day I just noticed, I'm like, okay, well, I can lurk now. Before, when the game first came out, I was just like, my guy had cement shoes and couldn't move. It was it was bad.
For sure. Now, the way to beat the lurks, though, start using the low pass and the high pass.
I always forget to do that.
That doesn't always work. But when it comes to lurk situations, it definitely plays a factor because I know Dizzle, I played him one time, and he was doing the touch pass a lot.
Yeah.
And it was working. So, I mean, I guess there's ways around the lurk situation. But, I mean, when you're in the midst of the game, you're not thinking double tap, L1, L2. Like, you know what I'm saying?
You're right.
So,
now, a lot to remember.
Now, run defense, on the other hand.
Oh, I love it. I think it's great.
I don't know what happened. It's just like anybody can run the ball. Yeah. You can walk up to the line of scrimmage, audible to a run play, and you're going to get a half a first down.
I think the key this man is who you mic. I'm not going to give my secret out. I'll talk about it off wax.
Okay.
But it's ways where if you mic a particular person and shift your line, do your line protection and stuff like that, if the person doesn't blitz, you getting 6 or 7 yards. Easy. Very, very easy. Like if you play, we're gonna talk about Kid a lot, but that is EA's golden child. He knows who works EA's golden child. But he blitzes. He knows, like when he plays me, he knows how to do the run defense against me. He does the perfect blitzes. So like if I mic the wrong person, good riddance.
Yeah,
right.
Like everybody don't blitz like that. A lot of people play conservative defense. When you watch Red Boy, and we'll talk about him later, like he's masters the run.
Yes.
I know how he does it because he knows how to do his line protection and he mics certain people and he just knows how to run. He knows how to run. It's all on you who you mic and how you line protect, and you will get 5 or 6 yards.
Now me and Solution had a conversation the other day about you just mentioned that people are conservative when they play. On the other hand, we had a conversation the other day, Solution, where we feel like that's not completely true.
Okay, talk to me.
Yeah.
See, my thing is a lot of guys are spreading out wide, pressing, and zero blitzing a lot, all out blitzing to stop the run. And a lot of people
like an overcommitment
to stopping the run. And a lot of times it works. It's ways to combat that, but a lot of times it works. But I see a lot of people just extra pressing, extra zero blitzing, safeties are manning up with tight ends or whatever the case may be. I've seen a lot of that happening. I'm guessing because of the run, people running rampant and things like that, but it's very annoying. I wish you guys would stop. But, I mean, that's what I've seen. But as far as, like you said, people kind of being, I don't want to say not passive, but conservative. I've seen that in certain instances, but a lot of people, man, I think they're just blitzing. It's a couple guys. I'm not going to name any names. It's a handful of guys that just
we're family
blitzing.
here. We can throw some names out there.
No, I don't want them to know that I'm on to them.
Okay.
So I'm just going to act like I don't know. But a lot of people just throwing blitzes out and over like first, second, third down. It's crazy to me.
I understand.
I don't know how y'all do it.
When you see them blitzes, get that hot rod.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Throw quick underneath. It'll burn a blitz quick.
I think that's the good thing about how we play in CGI is people will make their adjustments.
Yeah.
It takes time. It takes time for some.
It does.
And for others, we pick it up quick.
Right.
But CGI makes adjustments, and I think we're seeing that this season with the way the standings are this season compared to last season. I think we're seeing some of those adjustments already.
A lot of, because I feel like a lot of people especially on defense, are playing similar as far as the blitzing and things like that, and certain guys are catching on.
Yeah.
And once you catch on to something, and people have you figured out per se, it's kind of hard to come up with a solution to, okay, what I'm gonna do now? This was my bread and butter. What I'm gonna do now?
Play calling separates the average from the top tier tremendously.
Right. Most definitely.
You can tell it's a consistent. The same people win often. You know what I mean? And the reason being is because they know how to play. You'll get a couple surprises here and there, but you can tell who does a lot of good play calling.
Right.
You can tell who do the same, and they don't switch their game.
They don't switch the game. Yeah.
Gotta switch your game plan up because you can't play. I can't play D the way I play solution.
Right.
Oh no.
You can't do that.
Yeah. You can't.
You know what I'm saying? Y'all both play totally different.
You gotta play to, when you're playing your opponent, you gotta play to their weaknesses, so to speak. So you have to find out what they don't do well and force them to do that all game.
For sure.
I don't know how you do that against Game. He does everything well.
Yeah, I mean, I watched him for the zone blitzes. That's the zone blitz guy. So.
We're gonna cut this part of the podcast.
Go ahead. No, don't do that. But go ahead.
So yeah, I mean, again, it's the state of Madden 20. It just is what it is. Every year, Madden comes out. The game changes as the year goes on. I'm sure, there's another title update that's due out at some point this month, and the game's probably going to completely change again.
When it's all said and done, it's going to be a completely different game.
Yeah.
Unless you play Mutt.
No, I don't really play Mutt like that. I'm not.
Not for us. Not our taste. Not our style.
Nah.
Yeah. But let's talk about season 30, the 2019 season, our first season of Madden 20, the 30th season. Overall of CGI. Like I said, we did some predictions and some how things would play out in our first episode.
I did not predict the Titans to win the Super Bowl.
I don't even think I had him. I didn't even consider him, I don't think.
And I still wouldn't consider him now. I was very surprised. I was very surprised. But he's a good user. He's always been. I said it. If you go back and listen to the other podcast, I was like, he's a solid user.
You said it.
I just didn't expect him to win the Super Bowl. I feel like I always feel like Kid go win the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
But congrats to the Titans for kicking his ass.
It's like 3 people that I always pick to win the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Now, I mean, I guess just to kind of make fun of ourselves a little bit, remember how we were saying the best division was going to be the NFC East and how great the NFC East was going to be? I think, if I remember correctly, one of the quotes I said was, no team in this division is going to have less than 8 wins unless it's due to injuries.
Right.
And
I remember
there was only one team over 500 in that division, and that was the Eagles, who is now the Orlando Hornets.
Yep.
Wow. You just really couldn't predict.
It's so much talent as far as personnel talent. You got the Cowboys, and I'm sorry. But you got the Cowboys over there, and it's like they're loaded.
Yeah.
Especially from a Madden standpoint.
I don't understand how Jeff is losing with the Cowboys. I just don't get it. Either he's doing it on purpose.
Yeah, right.
Tanking on purpose.
That's how much he hates the Cowboys.
If you hate him,
I would do that.
If you hate him that bad, trade me Zeke, Jalen, Van Der Esch. Just trade me my guys so I can bring him to San Fran. But why had a bad season, but he's starting to get in rhythm.
He's known for that.
Yeah.
He's known for starting slow and revving it up.
Because Watt is a builder. Watt is a builder. BK, I mean, we can't really shit on him because that Giants team is trash.
It is. Yeah.
It's complete trash.
And he made some moves to help it out. He actually, I think he was probably 7-9, so he came in second place in the division.
Right.
He wasn't completely off.
I didn't even know he came in second.
Yeah, he came in second place in the division with.
That's a testament to his user skills.
Yeah. I'll give him props for that.
Exactly. But overall, Red Boy ran away with it, and in his first year back in Madden,
that's crazy to me.
Big props to him.
It's not. You know why? Because he knows how to run the ball.
Yeah,
and he knows how to play defense.
Running the ball and defense travels.
Absolutely. You can, if you have that trait in Madden, if you can keep your opponent off balance and you can frustrate your opponent on the defensive end, you will always be inside of it.
I agree.
If you look at, and I hate to make the Red Boy this comparison because, put it like this, he's like Floyd Mayweather. On the outside, when you watch Floyd, you look at him and you go, I can beat him.
Right.
When you step inside the ring with him,
it's different.
It's completely different. So when I watch Red Boy streams, I be looking like, dog, he's doing this. He's
Right.
He's doing this. Like, you know what I'm saying? I know exactly what he's doing.
Yeah,
but if you play him, it's totally different.
Whole different animal.
I was in the division with him.
Like shit.
Was it 2 Maddens ago, 3 Maddens ago, whatever the case may be? I know I can name plays right now that Red Boy does.
The counter,
power
right.
He does the out of strong affirmation, strong close.
Yeah.
He does all this stuff. I know how to stop it. I load it up, and he still gets positive yards.
And here's the sick shit: if anybody else ran them plays, they'll get negative yards.
-2,
but
-3.
He'll get 6.
Might
7.
get fumbled.
He don't hit the turbo that much.
No,
Like he literally,
He's
just patient with the run. Super
Follows
patient.
his blocks.
Thank God he don't have
Hits the
Le'Veon Bell.
yeah.
Imagine that.
Oh,
Like, you know what I'm
man.
saying? Like, I mean, yeah, like I watch him play, and then defense, he just plays solid defense.
Solid.
He just plays solid.
He will
solid
just
defense.
make sure that he's going to hold you down in yardage and keep
Yep.
you out of the end zone
Yeah.
as best as he can.
That's the most
It's
important.
phenomenal. And I mean, now with that, he wasn't even the number one. As good as he played last season, he wasn't even number one seed in the NFC. Number one seed was one of our shocks of the league, Nick P.
Yeah.
Our Vikings user.
I was.
He
super
took
shocked
the
with
league
that.
by storm last season.
Yeah, he
you know.
did. That's one of John Lilly's boys. So we got the red radar on that guy for sure.
I'm saying, what you trying to say? What you mean?
Nah, it's like Nick P. He's a solid user. I played him in the NFC championship. What's the NFC championship?
Yeah. Mhm.
Was it? Okay, yeah. And he's a solid user. He's a solid user.
Yeah.
It's hard to be bad with that team.
Yeah.
It's hard to be
You got
bad with that
everything you
team.
need.
You have a
got
solid
offense,
defense.
Mm-hmm.
Dalvin Cook.
You got a quarterback that can make pretty much all the throws.
For sure. And I mean, I like to trade for Trev for acquiring Diggs and giving up the first round because Stephen Diggs is a first round pick in my opinion.
I agree.
But he still had Thielen.
He still had
Yeah.
Thielen,
You know what I'm
and he made Doxson a legitimate receiver for him.
You know what I'm saying?
You got the
So-
rookie tight end Irv Smith. But I mean, it all started with Dalvin Cook, though.
Yeah.
I mean, he had a phenomenal season with Dalvin Cook.
Yeah.
Solid run. If you can play defense,
run
the ball.
Play
That's
defense,
just
ran
like in
the
real
ball.
life.
For sure.
Yep.
For sure.
Control the
You know what I mean?
clock, play good defense.
Yep.
For
That
sure.
now that division actually had 3 teams make the playoffs. The Bears and the Packers both ended up being the wild cards out of that division. And then if you look around the rest of the NFC, the Niners, Coach Wakanda, he won the NFC West.
You see how we move.
And then the Bucks, another one of our surprise teams, a new coach, D Bev.
Oh,
Yeah. Ooh.
Frustrating.
Everybody feeling a little.
Defensively, he's frustrating to play.
Very
Yes.
frustrating.
Very
Yeah, I
frustrating.
played
to
him last
play.
season,
He,
too.
the way he blitzes is very confusing.
Yeah.
It's very, very
In
confusing.
combination with running around all over the place with the fastest linebacker in
You
the game.
can't throw across the middle. You got to
Yeah.
throw outside the numbers.
For sure.
That's the only way. I don't know.
Yeah.
I haven't beat him, so I can't tell you how to beat him.
Well, I beat him. It wasn't easy. But the lob pass, the low pass,
Yeah.
that's what helped. That's what helped. But it's hard because, like I said, when you play a guy who can blitz crazy,
Mm-hmm.
you got to commit to the run.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have to.
Yeah.
And it's tough to do that because it's frustrating
so
when you
tough.
get negative
You get
yards.
negative yards and no right.
But he'll make if you mic the right person and shift your line, you'll break one.
Yeah.
And then it'll make him adjust and be like, "Oh shit, I can't do that blitz."
Right.
And then you'll put him in
And
your
then-
head. But he's tough. He's right. Last year he had a solid season. Right now he's sitting at 7-1, and
Doing it without even really having to pass the ball like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, you know how I run.
Which is a theme
It
kind
is.
of in Madden 20 where some of these top teams aren't really passing the rock that great. Yeah. But
Yeah. I'm in there
if you
with
can run the ball,
Yeah.
and play some defense,
You
there
are
you
solid.
go.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So yeah, that rounds out the NFC teams that made the playoffs, and then the AFC teams that made the playoffs. The Texans, myself,
There you go.
ended up being the number 1 seed.
Okay.
The Jets, the
Shocker.
Chargers, and the Browns each one of their divisions. What's that? The AFC East, the AFC West, and the AFC North, respectively. And then the Titans and the Chiefs ended up being the wild card teams. So those were your playoff teams coming out of season 30. Teams that disappointed, real quick. Let's just kind of roll through some of these teams that disappointed. My number 1 disappointment team is probably the Cowboys. I think that's the number 1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That should be everyone's number
Like
one.
you can't. You're not trying. It's something's wrong.
That and then I would say maybe not a close second, but the Browns have to be thrown in there because
yeah.
the Browns, as far as on
Loaded.
paper,
Loaded.
Now he made the playoffs. He won
Right.
his division.
Right.
So I can't be too disappointed.
yeah,
because
I'm not gonna
did
say
get there.
disappointing
Yeah.
as like he had a poor season. I just expected more.
Yeah.
I thought he would do better as far as
you
go
expected
further.
the conference championship appearance.
Most
at the least.
definitely.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, we
Most
set
for
that
sure.
expectation in our first
When
episode.
you have, well, he traded for Christian McCaffrey. You know what I mean? So you have Christian McCaffrey, David Njoku, Odell Beckham, Jarvis Landry. Then you got Antonio
Endless.
Callaway, Baker Mayfield, and then you got a defense, 2 solid ass corners, a front that can get to the quarterback.
You got a defensive end who is a
unguardable.
dog.
I didn't talk about him in X Factor. That Bama's a beast.
Oh,
too.
Miles Garrett.
He's probably
Yeah.
the best.
Yeah.
That Bama got strength, speed, everything.
So, you know what I mean? We expect Nick to be up there like where Kid in Jacksonville.
Mhm.
Yeah. A couple other disappointing teams for me: the Ravens, the Seahawks, the Falcons. I mean, each of those teams had definitely some disappointing seasons. You know,
bro.
Not gonna say the Falcons. Not gonna say
You
the
weren't
Falcons.
expecting much from the Falcons.
I'm not gonna disrespect my man like that because that's my guy. But Seahawks, I'm not gonna knock them because our division is kind of
division.
tough. It's a
Yeah.
user.
Y'all were.
I love that division.
The
I love
NFC
it.
West was locked up pretty
It's
tight
a-
all
yeah.
the way through.
It's
for sure.
tough to win in our division because all of us play defense.
Mhm.
All of us play defense.
That is the theme for that division.
Yeah. All of us play defense.
Speaking of the NFC West, the Rams actually was a pretty surprising team as far as now he just missed the playoffs. He was one game out. He was a win against AJ away from getting
Yeah.
into the playoffs.
Yeah.
So overall, didn't make the playoffs, so that part is
Right.
disappointing. But just he had a 10-win season.
Yeah.
Again,
Yeah.
played solid defense. He had one of the top rushers in the league with Todd Gurley.
Mm-hmm.
So one of my surprising teams there would
Yeah.
be the Rams. The
He'll be-
Titans obviously is a shocker to everybody.
Shame
Super,
shocker.
super.
Shame shocker, and we got to give him a big shout out to him because that Melvin Gordon move, like when he made the trade, it was like, all right, man, it's a good trade for you. But
Right,
you know what I
right.
mean? Like,
Yeah, and he
but that
gave up so
trade-
much. He gave up so much. Everybody was just like, "Oh man, dang, all that from Melvin
See,
Gordon."
My thing with that team is I just from the jump, even before that, I didn't think that they had enough to really compete on that level. They're not a bad squad, but I don't see Super Bowl.
Testament to
yeah.
a user.
Yeah, that's
Testament to his
a good
user
user
skills.
right there.
There it is. So
Yeah.
so the CGI Bowl 30 ended up being a matchup between the Vikings and the Titans,
Yeah.
and in that game, it was pretty tight knit for the most
For
part.
the most part,
You
Sure.
kind of felt like the Titans had some control over the Vikings after halftime, and then the biggest play of the game, the Titans had the Vikings had missed a 4th down in the end zone. He overthrew his tight end in the end zone. Basically it was a 4th and goal,
Mhm.
right near the goal line, and then the Titans takes over, backed up against the goal line, and breaks off a 90+ yard play
demoralizing.
with the guy himself, Melvin Gordon. Melvin Gordon did it. So again, that was just one of those things that kind of went to prove us wrong,
Mhm.
where everybody criticized him and said, "Oh, you gave up way too much."
Man,
That was the player that won him his first CGI.
I'll
Bowl.
say
fine.
this.
Go ahead.
I say this, man. If you have a good running back, it can take you places, especially a running back. X factor alone. Everyone can
Mhm.
run the ball for the most part.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
There's some that's better than others.
Yeah.
But if you have an elite running back, that's kind of like this year's quarterback. They're everything because because in a lot of situations, these games I'm watching, the running back's getting way more carries than the quarterback. The quarterback's getting. I've seen guys win with 10 attempts.
I've
Yeah,
done it.
10
I've done it.
passing
You know what I mean?
attempts.
I've done
Yeah,
it.
So if you don't have a good and not just one running back, I think you should have a good backup too.
Yeah.
Because injuries and all that good
For
stuff.
sure.
But if you got a good solid running back that can make all the runs, do all this and that, you got a shot to go deep. If you can, especially if you can play defense too with that.
yeah.
Passing this year isn't.
Yeah,
I wouldn't.
it's-
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend you
I-
be super pass
I
happy.
hate Jimmy Garoppolo. Like, I hate him. Like,
That's not your man's.
Oh,
that's not my
OTB?
man at
OTB?
all. Yeah, nah, like,
On the block.
yeah. No, well, his contract is pretty expensive, so I gotta deal with him. But the
Yeah.
throws that he be making sometimes, they're like, dog, what
What are you doing?
What are you doing?
Bro, I had Cam Newton, man. He
I would take him to know Jimmy Garoppolo.
really.
Yes, hell yeah.
Speaking of contracts, I just had to re-sign Deshaun Watson.
Give him every penny.
He got every penny.
Give him
Brinks
every
truck.
penny.
He got every penny. Seven years, almost 250 mil.
Give it to him.
Great.
7 years.
Pause.
Whew.
He's worth it.
I don't know who he's going to have around him over the next 7 years, but hey,
But you got him though. I
he's
guess
wearing
that's
that
what
deep
matters.
steel blue for 7 years. Let's get it.
This is where the draft expertise come in. This is where the draft
pretty much.
expertise come in.
Pretty much.
So yeah, man.
Well, yeah. So we actually caught up with our Super Bowl 30 winner, King D3, coach of the Tennessee Titans. And, I had a one-on-one interview with him a little bit earlier, and here's what he had to say. Joining us now here on the Commissioner's Report, we want to bring on our first ever guest here on the Commissioner's Report. And it's, of course, none other than our first CGI Bowl champion of the Madden 20 year, the 2019 season, our 30th overall CGI Bowl champion. King D3 joins us here, the owner of the Tennessee Titans. King D, welcome. How's it going, man?
Thank you, man. It's good to be here. Glad to get the call.
Well, we're glad to have you on the show. We want to first, of course, congratulate you on winning the CGI Bowl. This is your first one, your first CGI Bowl in the books. How was it?
I mean, it was a pretty difficult road. I mean, there's a lot of great players in this league, and for me to go 9-7 through the regular season and make the run through the playoffs like that, it was just kind of like shocking to me. And I know for a lot of people in the league.
Oh, definitely. You were one of the standouts of the league. Even though you ended on 9-7, we could tell that you had something special brewing the whole way. So, talk to us about yourself a little bit. What was your first Madden? When did you first start getting into Madden? And what brought you to CGI?
Well, I first started playing Madden about Madden 07. I was only 8 years old at the time, so. I mean, I'm 20 now, college student at East Texas Baptist University. So I'm one of the youngest in the league, so I'm not as experienced with, like, the men as most of the other users are. But I played enough to, like, keep my game up with everybody else.
Hey, man, it's hard to tell that you're not experienced. You want to bowl. Well, tell us again, what brought you to CGI? When did you first start the CGI? Is this your first Madden League experience, or had you had another Madden League before you joined CGI?
I've been in Madden League since when Madden Leagues were first introduced.
Okay.
So I was only like 15 at the time, so I was just like kind of playing, not really knowing what was going on. The cap space and all that was like confusing to me, but I picked it up over the years and. It's good that I started off young so I could learn it and all that.
There you go.
And with CGI, I actually joined CGI as the Steelers like 2 months ago. I think I was a junior in high school, and I left the league because I was trying to focus on football and get a scholarship and all that.
Mm-hmm.
And earlier this year, I actually came back and joined as the Seahawks. And I was going to leave, but I decided to stay and stuck it out. And it was probably it was a good decision for me. And I'm just wanted to thank y'all for letting me back in and just letting me ball with y'all.
No problem. We definitely always welcoming good, solid users, and you've proved your worth. So talk to us about that regular season last season, the 2019 season, first season here in Madden 20 for CGI. Talk to us about some of the key moves and key players that kind of help have an impact on that Super Bowl run that you had, that CGI Bowl run that you had.
Yeah, so the biggest ad for the team was obviously Melvin Gordon, and I took a lot of backlash and y'all were just saying that I gave up too much for him, but I just needed the comfort of having a superstar player on my team, and turns out that was one of the best decisions I made all season. He was the AFC Offensive Player of the Year, over 2,000 yards, over 15 rushing touchdowns. Along with that, I brought in Jacoby Brissett from the Colts for a 3rd-round pick. That was a great pickup. And I brought in Marvin Jones from the Lions, along with Grady Jarrett on the defensive side of the ball. And those were just great pickups for me. They all contributed big during the regular season and through the playoffs. And I'm just glad that I got a hold of those guys.
There you go. Yeah, and they were a big part of your run. Now talk about the playoffs. You went through. Let's see, your first game was against the Jets, right, in the wild card round.
Yeah, it was. That was a difficult game. I'll say that because he has a lot of speed at the receiver position, so I had to make sure I had a safety up back deep to make sure that he didn't get no long balls on me to get the momentum. Defensively, it was a struggle with Jamal Adams and the D-line he has. So I just had to look on the outside, see if I had anything down the sidelines, and it worked out well. I think I won that game by like 20.
I thought you said it was difficult.
It was.
All right, and then the game after that, you ended up having to play against the Texans, which was me.
It was you.
Yeah. And that was what, the third time in 5 weeks?
Yeah, man. Every time I play you, it's difficult because you're a great user, and I never know what to expect out of you when it comes to our games. But I just know I have to outsmart you most of the times and just got to play my best defensive games. And you have a lot of great players, too, and Deshaun Watson and D-Hop. And
yeah, I guess they're all right, I guess.
Yeah, but I made it through, and I got through that game, too. You beat me both times in the regular season, but the playoff game is what matters. So.
Yeah. You got me where it counted, unfortunately. And then you made your way to the bowl after playing against the Chargers in the AFC Championship. Just talk about that real quick.
Yeah, he got a hold of me in the regular season too. But once again, I beat him when it mattered, and I remember this play. He had Easton Stick at like the 10-yard line, and his tight end ran a vert. And it was like 20 seconds left, fourth down, and he overthrew him. He was wide open in the back of the end zone, and I just dropped my controller in disbelief that he ever do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I won that game by 4. And if he would have caught that, I wouldn't be the champ right now.
That was a tough fought game for sure. And then, of course, you made it to the bowl game. You played against the Minnesota Vikings, who was a first-time bowl participant himself. So we had 2 first-time bowl participants. Just talk about that and the major play in that game, which was that, again, Melvin Gordon making a big play for you.
Yeah, Melvin just tends to make plays like that. And sometimes it's effortless. Like, I just give him the ball and hit a juke, and he's running for 60 yards. But that particular run was 99 yards out the end zone, and there was nothing between him and the end zone for 97 of those yards. Yeah, and then that also came from a ball that was overthrew to a tight end in the back of the end zone on a fourth down. So,
is there something about you with overthrown balls in the back of the end zone, huh?
Yep.
Well, congratulations again on winning your first CGI Bowl 30. You actually received our first trophy. How was that?
Yeah, well, I sent the trophy to my house, so my dad got the package, and he opened it, and he was just in disbelief because he was like, this is amazing. And he knew about the league because I let him listen to the first podcast, and he was just like, I tell you not to play the game, but it's pretty cool, so I guess it just all worked out. And he said the trophy is amazing. Like, it really feels like I actually won, like, a Super Bowl. And I posted it on a few of my social media platforms, and everybody walks up to me like, how'd you get that? How'd you win that? Are you that good at Madden? Play me. And it's just crazy.
Of course, yeah. It's a conversation starter now. Look at, because you're a bowl champion. Well, again, thank you for joining us. What can we look forward to from you in the 2020 season? I know you're 5-4 at this point. What we got?
4, yeah.
Okay, what we got the rest of the season from you?
Got off to a slow start. My next two games are big. Playing the Colts, then the Jags. Both of those are good competitors there. We always have close games, and I've got you down. I got you down both times this season, so that's a big plus.
I guess.
Hopefully I can sneak in the playoffs again this year, because right now it's not looking too good, and trying to defend my title.
All right. Well, a lot of season to go. We we look forward to maybe hearing from you again. Who knows? You might go on another special run. We'll see. All right. Thanks for joining the Commissioner's Report. King D3 joining us here, the CGI Bowl 30 champion here on the Commissioner's Report.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
All right, so that was our interview with King D3, and I mean, good kid. Congratulations to him again. And like we've said in the interview, he got our first CGI Bowl trophy.
Sweet.
And we want to give a shout out to Broman. Broman is the owner of the Arizona Cardinals, the owner and coach of the Arizona Cardinals, and we want to give a shout out to him for hooking us up with the company that provided us that trophy. He didn't give us the name of that company, so if they want a shout out next time, you got to let us know.
Hey.
Right.
We'll shout them out on the podcast.
Some sponsorship coming. You know what I mean?
Right. It might be a future sponsor.
You know what I mean?
We'll get there. But yeah, shout out to Broman for that. We do appreciate him getting us trophies for all of our CGI Bowl winners for Madden 20. So looking forward to more of that. So here we go. Now we're in season 31, the 2020 season, our second season here in Madden 20. This past off season, this is pretty interesting. So this past off season, before this season started, we had some new quarterbacks enter the league.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
7 quarterbacks total were drafted, and 4 of them are full-time starters. One of them, the first one that was taken was the Bengals quarterback. I think his last name is McBride. And then
Travis McBride.
Yeah, Travis McBride. Yeah. The next one that was taken right after that was Jerome Hackett, who is the starting quarterback of the Carolina Panthers, right?
Or was it? No, I think
you weren't after him?
Sam, nah.
Not Sam.
Sam
Sam
picked
jumped
him
in
up.
front of you. You're right. You're right. So yes, Coach Julio Shakur jumped in front of the Panthers and took
Swift Shakur.
Swift Shakur.
I don't know.
That wasn't his
I don't
name
know
at
who he was
first,
before,
Yeah.
but this guy, yeah.
Shout out to Julio. He's very prideful and
I see.
respected, completely respected.
That's all
So
good.
yeah, Swift Shakur is now the starting quarterback of
That's
the
my
Atlanta
dude,
Falcons. And then Jerome Hackett was taken
Yes, sir.
by the Carolina Panthers, and then lastly Dustin Rich, who is now the quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys, who moved on from Dak Prescott.
Yeah, I don't know what the fuck is he doing.
Yeah,
But, okay.
You know.
Whatever floats his boat.
whatever floats your boat.
I mean, this guy might be better than Dak. I don't think it's that hard
Yeah.
to be better than Dak. But
Well, he has 11 touchdowns and 16 interceptions with a 69.6 passer rating. So I doubt he's better than Dak.
where's Dak at right now? Anyway,
Dak
where is Dak?
Dak is the backup in
jeez.
Buffalo.
and behind
Buffalo?
behind that nigga.
So Dak.
Yo, I'm coming to get Dak in the offseason.
No, listen to
Enough
this.
is enough.
So the Buffalo signed him to a 4-year, like $60 million deal,
And he's a backup?
and he's a backup. Yes,
He's a backup.
He's a backup to Josh Allen.
Oh, that GM and skills needs a little work.
Woo, bro, lot.
When you got Josh Allen, you don't really need a quarterback.
You don't. Yeah, he's
Or
supposed
is Josh
to be
Allen on the block?
interesting. Inquiring minds want to know.
Bro, lot. Inquiring minds, what to know.
Me and Bro not gonna talk in the offseason. Jimmy could be a backup. He can be a rich backup.
So we have 4 new quarterbacks enter the league. But something else that I noticed, which is pretty interesting, is usage of rookies so far in the 2020 season.
Mm-hmm.
I was looking through some of the stats via mymadden.com, who is our stats hosting site. We want to thank them. And it's interesting, so you got the 4 quarterbacks who
Right.
are full-time starters. When you look at some of the skill, and then when you look at defense, of course, defensive players, there's defensive rookies sprinkled
Right,
out
right.
throughout
Yeah.
the
More
league. We're making
opportunities,
plays.
right.
Yeah, absolutely. There's plenty of opportunities for defensive rookies to make plays and be players and contributors. But on offense, the skill positions are really interesting. I was looking through, and there's only 3 rushers or 3 running backs who are getting any significant kind of carries for their team. And only one of them has over 70 carries. And that one is Earl Campbell III,
Campbell, right.
who was drafted by the Los Angeles Chargers by Coach Dreamkid.
Yeah.
He actually is the league's leading rusher.
I saw that.
Yeah, with like 1,300 yards through, what are we, 11 weeks in, 10 weeks in?
10 weeks, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, man. But
That guy.
Must be nice.
so as a rookie, the league's leading rusher is young Earl Campbell III. But
What round did you
aside
draft
from
him
that,
in?
that's a good question.
We gotta
Actually,
ask
might-
Jim Kid that. We gotta ask him that. Don't
yeah,
even
we'll
worry
have to
about it.
ask
We'll
him. Yeah. But and then there's 2 other rookie running backs, one for the Vikings, one for the Jets. They're getting a little bit of burn, nothing too significant.
Right.
Then at the wide receiver position, there's really only 2 wide receivers that have only 20 that have over 20 catches. No other receiver has over 5 catches.
That's crazy.
That's a rookie.
I have a stud wide receiver on my team, but I'm loaded at wide receiver. You know what I'm
Is that
saying?
what it is? Is the league just that deep to where
You know what?
rookies aren't really needed right
I'm not
now?
gonna lie to you.
Not right now.
A majority of the guys on my roster that are receivers are like just guys. Like I traded for Hakeem Butler, who was a 72 overall. He was
Yeah.
the only person I have that's like a star is DJ Moore.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone else is just guys, free agency guys, and guys that were on the team. But wide receiver is pretty deep, so I can kind of understand that. But running back, I don't really know about that one.
Yeah.
I would thought I didn't really scout running back or
Neither did I.
receiver, so
Neither did I.
I don't know what it was looking like come draft time. But That's pretty odd.
It's
It's
very
kinda odd.
very interesting. I thought.
And last draft, I think I stayed away from running backs was because I didn't see a lot of power backs.
Yeah, that was
All
my
I saw was elusive
Elusive and
receiving.
receiving,
And I was
yeah.
like, you know what I'm saying? I need to see power backs. But
Right,
maybe
right.
this Madden, because in a lot of leagues that I'm in, I don't see a lot of power backs.
I've seen
It's all
maybe.
receiving and elusive.
Now the good thing I am seeing with the few power backs that there is, Madden's had a terrible thing where they would make power backs really, really slow. They would make them like 85
Unusable.
Not
speed
this year.
with 81,
81
acceleration.
acceleration.
Yeah.
Not this year.
Yeah, not this year. This year they're back to where they were a couple years ago, where now you will see some 90 speed,
Right.
high 80 speed power backs.
Yeah.
And they'll have some respectable agility and acceleration. So that's
Absolutely.
good, but I guess like you said, we're not seeing a lot of them. And just something interesting that I thought I saw in regards to rookies. So far, the season 30, season 31, we are what, like I said, 10 or 11 weeks in now.
Yep.
Something like that. I
Yeah.
think,
Yeah.
son.
And how do you guys see things shaking out here beyond the halfway point of the season?
Now, let's start with the NFC.
Okay.
I pretty much think Red Boy has that spot locked up.
Yeah,
It's gonna
he's
be-
to this point he's 9-0.
Yeah.
9-0.
It's kind of hard to come back from that.
Now I had a situation, so unfortunately I didn't get a chance to play Red Boy. So that's where one of my losses come from
Mhm.
in the sim. It's gonna be interesting to see how San Fran, Minnesota, and Tampa Bay play out because I know San Fran and Minnesota play each other, and I think San Fran plays Tampa Bay as well.
Yeah. So at this
Um,
point, it's a fight for the number 2 seed between the three of y'all.
Right,
Pretty much.
right. If Tampa,
Assuming that
right,
the Orlando Orbits don't fall out of
Right.
favor down the stretch, but we would imagine that they won't.
absolutely.
And again, for reference, the Orlando Orbits was formerly the Philadelphia Eagles, again owned by Red Boy Lightning.
So glad he
But
changed them.
Yeah, he moved them to Orlando to get a dome stadium.
Eagles trash.
Yeah, who cares about the Eagles? So,
Right.
yeah, it is what it is.
It's gonna be interesting to see how Carolina and the Rams, if Watt and James can hold on, it's gonna be interesting. This is gonna be an interesting playoff. The standards are not gonna be the same the next time we record.
Oh,
the
yeah,
next time we
yeah.
talk about it, it's gonna be interesting because Carolina, you've been GMing your ass off.
Hey man, I've
You've
been trying
GMing
to.
your ass
Been
off,
trying
man.
to, man.
And Dave Cool, he's just playing solid football right now. Playing solid football. But I'm telling you, Watt's starting to get his rhythm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
He's
can see
starting to get
that.
his rhythm. And when Watt's in a good space, he could be a problem. He
Absolutely.
can definitely be a problem.
Absolutely can. So, yeah, standings as of right now, again, here just beyond the halfway point of the season. Orlando is the number 1 seed at 9-0. Tampa Bay is the number 2 seed currently at 7-1. Minnesota is 7-2. And then San Francisco is the 4th seed at 7-2. Those are your division leaders. And then the current wild card holders are Seattle at 5-4 and Washington at 5-3. On the bubble, the Rams, the Panthers, the Giants, and the Cardinals are right outside of the bubble of the playoff race. And then for the NFC. Now over in the AFC, of course.
This is a surprise.
Well, yeah.
These standards are a surprise.
The standings here are a surprise. What's not a surprise is the number 1 seed being the Dream Kids,
Of course.
Yeah,
LA
O'Shea.
Chargers
Yeah.
at
O'Shea.
8-1. But
Who beat him?
Oh, excuse me, I got something in my throat. Sorry. Yeah, I don't know, man.
You did. You did
man,
beat Kid.
I
You
got,
did.
Hey, I
I-
lucked up, man. I got lucky.
Nah, ain't no lucky when you beat him. He deserves it. That's my guy. But nah, that was a solid game. I am surprised to see Jacksonville at 7-2.
Yeah.
What's going on in the AFC?
yeah, the
that was a shock.
Jaguars are at
I'm not gonna lie to
7-2. At number 3, the number 3 seed currently is the Pittsburgh Steelers at 6-2, and then the fourth seed is the New York Jets at 6-3. What you got to say?
Let me say this.
Yeah.
From now on, when the Ravens and the Pittsburgh Steelers play, please make that game of the week.
Oh wow.
Oh my God. Hey dog. They just played today.
Yeah, they just played
But the
today.
last time that they played and Millie was streaming against Keys,
Dang,
dog.
Slum.
Millie had me in tears because I get his frustration.
Yeah.
I get it.
Right.
You've played it
But
before.
yeah.
Yeah.
I know how Keys plays. Like
Yeah.
that Corey Grant shit is complete bullshit. But he knows how to use Corey Grant to a T. And Corey Grant, he has Corey Grant doing the impossible. This guy
Yeah.
doesn't catch any burn in real life. But on Madden, he's solid.
He's
But
the man.
today, Millie got at him. From when I checked the score,
Mm.
Millie was getting at him, and then we turned the game off. I turned the game
Yeah,
off.
me too. I watched a little bit of it, but I didn't catch the end.
Jets.
So the Jets round out the top 4 AFC teams at 6-3, and then on the bubble, the 2 wild card teams currently are the Tennessee Titans and the Cleveland Browns, both at 5-4. On the bubble, the Texans, the Buffalo Bills, the surprising resurgent Denver Broncos. The Bills too, kind of surprising. Again at 4-5, they're below 500, but off to a much better halfway point start than they were last season. But the Broncos and the Dolphins, both those are some surprising teams. They're hanging off at the bubble there.
Yeah, I'm kind of shocked. It looks like I haven't really caught all of their games, but it looks like competitive football.
Yeah,
being competitive, man.
And again, credit to what CGI can do in providing a competitive league all around.
For sure.
You're gonna have some teams that pop up and surprise you after a while.
Yeah,
so.
most definitely.
There aren't really too many slouches in CGI. Now, what I will say about the playoffs, the way these standings looking, I don't see. I always feel like we're picking on this guy, but we're not. Can Nick hold on? Can he hold on? I'm not shitting on him. I'm just asking you, can he hold on?
You just want to know.
Because it get tough. It can get tough down the stretch.
We will see.
Yeah. You know what I mean?
We'll see.
So,
well, we'll see how things shake out. Again, this is the halfway point, so we got plenty of way to go. And I'll just close out with this. We definitely, like I said, our studio situation's not ideal. We thought we'd be recording much more often.
Sure did.
And
life happened.
Yeah, the life happens.
Yeah.
And hopefully we'll get the opportunity to start recording more often. Ideally, we hope that we'll be able to be back with you all for a 3rd episode right in time for the postseason. Yeah. That's our ideal goal, is to get back to you right before the postseason. All right, gentlemen. Thank you. We made it again.
Thank you.
Episode 2 is in the books.
2.
We thank you all for listening. For Coach Wakanda, for Coach Wakanda.
It's all good. It's all good.
Coach Solution.
Yes, sir.
I am Coach the Game 836. We are your commissioners of CGI Madden League, and you've been listening to episode 2 of the Commissioners Report, a CGI Madden League podcast. Be easy, everybody.
Peace.